Simrita from Besant Technologies. Today we are going to see about the Oracle interview questions. In this session we are going to cover both basic SQL interview questions and the advanced SQL interview questions. Let us see the question and answers too. First question is, what is the difference between delete and truncate? In delete command, the particular record can be deleted using the where clause. In truncate, it removes all the data from the table. So while using the delete command, we can able to delete a particular row or record from the table by using the where clause. In the where clause, you can provide the condition where it should delete, that is which row, or you can give a one or multiple rows. So after performing the delete operation, so using the delete command, we can able to roll back the data. By rollbacking the data, we can able to retrieve the deleted data too. But once you perform the truncate statement, it cannot be rolled back. So once the data has been removed by using the truncate, it is removed. You cannot able to retrieve the data back again. So when compared to the fastness, delete command is slower than the truncate. The truncate command is speeder than delete command. So when to use delete command and when to use truncate command in the sense. So if you wanted to delete all the data from the table, you can use a truncate. Otherwise, it's better to use a delete command for deleting one or more rows. When you wanted to delete entire data from the table, it is recommended to use the truncate statement. Let us see an example. So here we have a table called products. Here we have two columns, ID and name. So in this, if I wanted to delete a column which has a name CPU, then I can give a delete command as delete from. You have to provide the table name, products, where I'm going to mention the ID because ID will be unique for every table. So the output will be one row deleted. So if I print the table now, one row has been deleted. If I wanted to delete all the data from the table, then I can use a truncate. Truncate command is truncate table name. So we are getting the output as table truncated. Then it means all the row from the table has been deleted. Yes, it's done. So the next interview question is, what is the use of concatenation operator? So the operator is called as a concatenation operator. This is used to combine the more columns or the columns with strings. It can be used. So it is used widely in the select statement. Let us see an example here. So here I have a table called student. Here I have three column ID, name and marks. So in this, if I wanted to merge name and marks as a single column, then I can use a concatenate operator. For example, the concatenation operators will be always used in the select statement. Select name. So here I am using a OR condition. So there is concatenation operator, marks from student. Student is a table name. So it combines both name and marks. So if I wanted to add any string in the middle, then I can give string should be given within a single quotes. we are having a select name concatenation operator has secure. Then we are having a concatenation operator followed by marks, then concatenation operator, then we have a single quotes marks. That is, this is a string. When you enter a value within a single quotes, this will be treated as a string from student table. So here we having the output as Sona has secured 89 marks. So I have merged the column name and marks. In the middle I have added a string has secured. At the end I have also added a string marks. So the concatenation operator doesn't make any changes in the table while viewing. While performing only the select statement, it changes. That is only for the viewing. It doesn't affect the real table. Next we'll go with the string question. So what are the string functions? That is the third question. So string functions are used to perform operations on character values. So some of the frequently used string functions are in string. So that is instr, length, rtrim. Rtrim means of right trim, ltrim means of left trim. Then we have replace, reverse, substring, lower, upper, and init cap. Let's see as one by one. Here I am having so in string, that is in str, string function is used to print the from the string it will have both string and substring. It will identifies the where the substring at which location it has been placed. Here the string is hello, we have the substring as 0, sorry, O. So in this case we are going to have hello and O. So just it's going to check the location of O where it is present in the hello. So now O is present as a fifth value in the hello. So it just prints 5. Next we are going to see about a length. So length is just to calculate the number of characters in a string. So it prints 5 because HELLO, this has a 5 characters. So then we are going with the R trim and left trim. So R trim means it's a right trim. Okay, it is going to be remove the space from the right of the string. So that is it's going to remove the space after hello. If you are giving a L trim, this means of left string. So that is it's going to remove the white space from the left of the string. So if you are simply giving us a trim, it will remove both left and right white spaces of the string. The next is replace, reverse, substring, lower, upper, and init cap. So when it's coming to a replace, if you want to replace any character of the string, then we can use the replace. Here, if I wanted to replace the character L with some other word, for example, if I wanted to replace the character of L with I, then I can say hello. So here you have to mention which character you are going to replace with which one. So here I have mentioned the string that needs to be, we are going to make a changes is hello. So then we are having a L is the string is a character which we are going to replace, and I is the replacing character. So we have HEIIO. The next one is reverse. When you wanted to the string which needs to be printed in reverse, you can use a reverse function. These are the built-in functions of Oracle. So we can just use all the built-in functions for these functionalities. So just see here, so we have a hello. When you reversed it, it reversed the whole string. Then we have a substring, lower, upper, and init cap. So this is a substring. So here in the substring we have three parameters. First is our actual string, and second one is from where it should start the substring. That is, H will be placed as a 1 and E will be having the index of 2. So we are going to start the substring from 2. So E, then from the substring how many characters it should be taken. So that is, it's going to take the 2 characters, that is E and L. We have an output of E and L. So next the case is lower and upper. If you want to print the characters or a string in a lower case, then you can give lower. It will print all the characters in a string as a lower. If you want to print all the characters in a string as upper, you can give upper. So it just prints hello in uppercase. So then finally we have a init cap. In init cap, it's going to have here we have a string I'm good. So in this, it's going to make the capital letters as a starting character of every first word. Okay, so here we have the word I am and good. So it's going to make the replace of a uppercase letter at the initial of every word. So that is, we have I as caps, A as caps, and G as caps. So let us take the next question. So here we have what is the difference between in and between operators. The between operators is used to fetch a row based on the range of values. The in operator is used to check for values contained in specific sets. So here also I have given an example that select star from students with roll number between 20 and 30. And for the in operator we have given an example select star from students with roll number in 20, 21 and 23. So when to use the between operator and the in operator. So when you wanted to provide the range of values, for example, here we have a table as students. So here we have the ID 101, 109, 145, 178. So between is used for to mention the range. So when you want any data within the range, then you can mention a between operator. Here I'm going to use the between operator to identify the students who secured a mark around 60 to 70. So here we are going to see select star from student with marks between 60 and 70. So that is between is used for the ranges. That is, the student who secured marks between 50 and 60 will be retrieved. So when it's going to in is used when you have the random. So if I say ID in this is not a range when you use the random values. That is not an ascending or descending order. Instead of that, when you use a random numbers or random values. Here I am giving a 101, 145 and 178. So when you're giving like this, that is a random numbers, it's not from the range, then you can use a in operator here. Next question is, write the command to print the current system date. So it is simple to print the current system date. So you can simply use select state from done. It just prints in the DD, MM and YY format, that is date, month and year format. Next we are going to see about some of the predefined functions which is available on SQL. So the question will be like a predefined, what is the predefined functions available in SQL? So we have average, count, max, minimum and sum and sustain. Just now we have seen about a sustain. Sustain is used to print a current date. So let's see the other functions like average, count, max, minimum and sum. So when it's coming to a table, here I'm having a student, it prints all. If I want a minimum mark of the student, that is the student who secured very minimum mark. So it is 48. So from this mark, the minimum mark is 48. So if I wanted to find the maximum mark, I can just have a function called max. It will print a maximum value from the table student. So if I wanted to find the average in the sense, if I'm having a data of 5 students, all the values will be collected and also value will be summed, then it is divided by the number of records. For example, if the table has a 5 records, it's going to add all the 5 records values and it's going to divide it by 5. So if I wanted to make a sum of the marks, then again select sum marks from the student. So when you're using a minimum, average, maximum and these kind of functions, you should have to mention which column you need the minimum, maximum, sum. So instead of sum, we can also give average for the average function. It will print 73.4. Then next we have is count. Count is used to count the number of rows. So count, then give star. It will print the number of rows from the particular table. So next is, which is we are going to use, the question will be, which operator is used for pattern matching? In pattern matching, we are using a like operator. In SQL, for the pattern matching, we are going to use a like operator. The like operator has 2 characters, that is 2 special characters we've been using. That is percentage and the underscore. Percentage is used when you don't know the value of more than 1 characters. Underscore is used when it's used to match the pattern of at least 1 characters. Let's see an example. Here I'm having the table student, same. Here if I'm knowing if I wanted to match the pattern, that is if I wanted to print the name, student name who starts with R. So then I give student and where. So then I have to mention the column name, for which column name we are going to do a pattern matching. Then we have to use a like operator. It's a must. So then you can give your pattern. I'm just saying it's going to be start with R. So I doesn't know other than star. That is, I just know only the name going to be start with R. That it should pattern match will be like it should start with R. That's all. So in this case, we can have select start from student where name like R percentage. Here you'll be having a Raja is twice because the input we have given as Raja is twice. Okay, so we're having a select start from student where name like R. So when you wanted to match only one character, that is user doesn't know which character will going to replace only for that particular character. So then you can mention underscore. For example, SNA. So I know the name going to be starts with S. It doesn't know the next character, so I'm replacing with underscore. Then I'm giving NA. So then you can use a S underscore NA. So we are going to give select star from student where name like S underscore NA. So it's going to print the Sona because instead of the underscore it replaces the any characters, that is one character. When you wanted to give a more than one character, you have to use a percentage. Next question is, what is the use of distinct keyword? So distinct keyword is used to remove. It's not like a removing duplicate values. It doesn't fetch the duplicate values. It doesn't remove the duplicate values. It just won't fetch it. So when the distinct keyword is used only in the select statements, the distinct keyword will retrieve the non-duplicate value based on the column. So we have going to give. Here we have Raja as a value of the name as 2 times. That is for the ID 102 and for the ID 1045. So if I want only the non-duplicate values, that is Raja should not be repeated twice, then I can mention distinct. I can give a column name. The distinct has been always done based on the column name. David, Sona, Surya, Raja. So Raja is printed only once because we have used a distinct keyword. How to add and remove the primary key after the table creation. So if you wanted to remove or add a primary key, then you can, after the table creation, you can do it using a alter table command. So with alter command, so alter table. So you have to mention the table name. I'm going to give add. So here I'm giving a constraint. So because the primary key is one of the constraints for the column and for table. So when you want to remove the primary key, you doesn't want to remove the column. You just remove the constraint key. It's enough. So it's recommended to use a constraint when you're adding and removing the primary key. So here I'm going to give add constraint, and I'm going to give the constraint name and what type of constraint it is. You're having a primary key. I'm just going to make ID as a primary key here. So table delta. So the ID becomes a not null because it is now made as a primary key. So when I wanted to remove the primary key which is added, so I can simply give a drop. Drop will remove the constraint, that is a primary key from the table. I'm going to give alter table student drop constraint p key. So it has removed the primary key from the table. So from the ID it's removed not null because the primary key is removed. When the column is primary key, it should have only the not null values. is about a join. What is a join? When you wanted to combine the two tables, then you have to use a join, not only for the two tables, two or more tables. So the table has been joined based on the common field. So there are different types of joins are available. So full join, inner join, right join and left join. When it's coming to a full join, it's combined both the tables. For example, if you're going to make a join of two tables, then it is a full join. It's going to retrieve all the data from both the table. Inner join will retrieve only the common values from both the table. Right join will retrieve all the data from the right table and the common values from the left table. In left join, it will retrieve all the data from the left table and the common values from the right table. So next we are going to see about the advanced SQL interview question, that is PLSQL interview questions. Can you differentiate anonymous block and subprograms? So the anonymous blocks are unnamed blocks which is not stored in the database. Subprograms are stored in the database. Some of the subprograms are functions, procedure, triggers and packages or subprograms. The subprograms are also called named blocks. So in PLSQL part, we have to start with declare. For example, declare is an optional case. So we can have begin. Here I am having a DBMS output dot put underscore line. So then so we have a PLSQL procedure executed successfully. So this is, we call it as an anonymous program. That is, we can have a declarative block as an optional. We should have a mandatory begin and end. So here I'm just going to print only the hello world. It's not printed because we have not done a set server output on. It's important to on the set server output on, get the output. Now we are getting the output as hello world because we are just going to print only the hello world in the anonymous block. So this cannot be saved because we have not given any name and this file cannot be saved for the future. But while coming to the anonymous program like functions and procedures, we are just going to save those programs and the programs can be used later. So the next thing is, what is a use of DBMS output package in PLSQL? So it is mainly used to display the output through the screen. So as like now we have used a DBMS output line. There is a many DBMS output as a package. Inside this package, there is a functions, different procedures are available. So some of the procedures are get line, put line, new line, etc. The put line is a basic functions we are going to use repeatedly in the PLSQL. That's to print the string or to print the outputs on the screen. So before using the DBMS output put line, you have to use a set server output on. Next question is how to create a PLSQL packages. So PLSQL has two parts. One is a package specification and the one is package body. Package specification is must, various package body is optional. So when you're creating a package, it is very mandatory to create a package specifications. In the package specification, we will define what are the functions or procedures we are going to give in the package. So package is a combination of one or more functions or one or more procedures, and it's a combination of functions and procedures too. So first we need to create a package specification, then we are going to create a package body. So in the package specification, it's just have the declaration about what variable we are going to use, What is a function we are going to use? We are just having a declaration, that's all. So which doesn't have any body of the content and its actual implementation. The actual implementation is done in the package body. So what is the syntax to disable the trigger? The syntax to disable the trigger is alter trigger and followed by the trigger name disable. So the disable command doesn't remove the trigger, it just temporarily off the trigger. That is when if you're giving again the enable option, that is alter trigger, trigger name enable, it will automatically enable the trigger. So it's not going to be permanently removed from the database, it's just going to off it for the temporarily. Next is we have the row type attribute is used to declare the variable. So row type. Row type is mentioned in the PLSQL blocks. It is used to declare the variable which has a structure of the records in a particular table. So the data type of the variable is same as a column in the table. Example, student record. We are having a space student percentage row type. There is a variable student record which has a data type of all columns in the table.
Now one.
Here we have declared a variable v student, that is student percentage row type. So student percentage row type, in the sense student we have a 3 columns, so ID, name and marks. So this is going to be applicable to the v students. So in the v student we can able to assign a ID. V student we can able to assign a name, because the v student has a v student row types. That is how many columns are in the student table will be applicable for the v student too. So that is what we called it as a, what is row type? So that is we called it as a row type of a particular table. So this. So then we are going with the next question, how many triggers can be used in one table? So maximum 12 triggers we are allowed it per table. So till 12 triggers it's allowed it as per the Oracle. So then how to create a function? Syntax to create a function is here. Okay. So you just have to give create or replace function, function name, return type is as declare variable data type. So then we have function body and function name. So we are going to create it based on this. So the function will be stored in a table, all objects. So all objects, user objects are there. All objects will store the predefined functions. User objects will store the user defined functions, that is the function which is created by the users. So then we are going with this, what are the predefined exceptions? Some of the exceptions are no data found, zero divide, too many rows, case not found, row type mismatch. No data was found, the exception will be thrown when it doesn't find any data in a particular variable. Zero divide is an arithmetic exception which occurs when you try to divide any number by zero. It was too many rows. When you wanted to assign one value to another, but the row count was higher, it doesn't support. So then we have case not found and row type mismatch too. What is type attribute? Type attribute is used to declare the value variable which contains the value of particular column in the table. The data type of the variable is same as the column in the table. That is, if you are going to assign one variable to the data type of one column of the table, then you can use a percentage type. Here, variable is student var, which has data type of the column student ID from the table student. So, the last question we are coming to see is difference between a function and procedures in PLSQL. So most of them are getting confused with what is a function, what is a procedure. In function, it is mandatory to use a return. So when you wanted to return any value, you can go with the functions. So whereas it is an optional in procedures, if you don't want to return any value, then you can use a procedure. So a procedure can have both input and output parameter, but in function it will have only the input parameter. So when you wanted to pass both input and output parameter, you can go with the procedure. In procedure, we have the error handling, that is exception handling, but when it's function, it doesn't have. So without a exception handling, we couldn't trace where we are finding the issue. So it's always better to use a procedure when you wanted to handle the exceptions. So but it's not possible in functions. Thanks for watching.